to know how you found her, the way she dresses, the way she walks, her voice, the way she speaks. How did she get into your skin?
Yeah, she's very specific, isn't
Yes.
she? Yeah, yeah. So in the diaries, there are lots of entries about the way she walks. She walks upright. She's often mistaken for a man. Her tone of voice is very deep. So we started with the diary entries to kind of build who she would be.
Yeah.
Then Tom Pye, our designer, came with lots of paintings and drawings that he'd made of men's clothes and women's clothes that were kind of horse riding outfits.
Okay.
That's where the top hats kind of come in from the high collars, because they looked quite masculine, even though they were feminine in that time for the sport. And we also know from the diaries that she did once dress as a man when she was younger, and she was experimenting.
Yeah.
So then I went to Cosprops, and I had the male section and the female section of the costume department, and we just started playing with how much we could kind of mix the two. She walked everywhere, and she always got everywhere quite fast. The timings of the diaries were quite fast, but I think it gave Sally, our creator and director, a real in with the energy of the show. So you constantly feel like you're keeping up with her, because she had so much energy, because she was so smart and so intelligent, that I think that whole creation of the look and the walk added to, you already know you're dealing with someone extraordinary before she's even opened her mouth.
Yeah.
I think.
It's like she walks as fast as she thinks, or
Absolutely.
something like that.
Yeah.
And how did you decide you will have these moments where she speaks to the camera? What did you want to bring with it?
For me, that was about the diary.
Yes.
So for this drama, I've personally transcribed a lot of the diary from the original, and so it's like she's speaking straight to you. And so for me, the motif of her speaking into the camera was a version of trying to recreate the excitement that you feel when you're reading the pages, and it's like she's talking straight to you.
I had the fantasy that it was also a way for her from 200 years ago talking to me from 2019 and saying the world hasn't changed that much.
Yes, oh, good.
Something like that. Make a link with us as viewers nowadays.
Well, again,
to our story.
that's similar to reading the journal. You know, you're looking at this very old document, and it's so vivid, it's so alive. You know, her mental thoughts processes are so alive as you're reading it, as it's coming across to you. And it's a very unusual thing to do, to be reading this document that nobody else has looked at for all that time, or very, very few people have looked at in all that time.
There is something very paradoxal in the idea of writing your story and coding it.
Yeah.
Do you think she wanted her story to be told?
You could argue it either way.
Yeah.
Today I'm thinking she did want us to know. It's interesting that she did choose to put it in code, and didn't destroy it at any point in her life. She didn't destroy the journal, and she didn't leave instructions for it to be destroyed either.
You build your relationship with Suranne. How did you work together to make us believe what we see and see two people fall in love? I mean, it's something difficult to play.
Yeah, I think it's time, and I was lucky when I had a chemistry read with Suranne, which was really important to make sure that we worked together, because it's not always a given that you have that with someone, and I think the spark was right. And then we had a lot of time to rehearse and to kind of just get our heads around who these people were and what the story is and what the world is, and it also gave us the time, not necessarily to literally rehearse, but to just talk. And you don't have that luxury on set because you're moving so quickly. So to really sort of bed in and discuss things and bring up ideas or questions or make sure that we're all on the same page, we had the time to do that. And then I think a working chemistry is a result of that sort of familiarity.
Yeah, and it's directed by women, the show. Does it change anything for you as an actress?
I think it was important that this story this time around was helmed by women, because it's so much about a woman and about these two women's journey. And I think that perhaps there is a shorthand there, you know, particularly with the intimate stuff, and it is emotionally very intimate, that it was nice to sort of have that very easy dialogue. But it wasn't solely about their gender. I think they were the right people for the job. But it was really exciting to be on a project with that many women in positions of power. You know, our executive producers were women. You know, and it feels very timely. It feels very appropriate for this story, and it is a real pleasure.
You feel like those characters, those very complex women, come more and more, or are you still reading some very dull, empty shells of a women in scripts?
Yeah, I think we've come a long way. I think, and particularly in the last 2 years, because a light has been on the Me Too and Era 50/50. But I think, particularly Era 50/50 that I do work for as well, it's about showing equal and fair representation of every member of society, and I think that we're still tipped towards the males with that. But things are going up. It's just about the continuation. Can we continue this conversation? And let's hope we can.
I think we can.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.